Good evening, everyone. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided by sending such notice to the Asbury Park Press, the Middletown Patch, and the Middletown Township Public School District website, and the posting of such notice at the August T. Minor administrative offices in each elementary, middle, and secondary school in the district. Roll call.
Mrs. Cavanetti?
Here.
Mrs. Farley?
Here.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Mr. Heffernan?
Here.
Mrs. Minuis?
Here.
Mr. Tulp?
Here.
Mrs. Wright? Mrs. Tobacco? Here. Mr. Capone?
Here. I need a motion for exec session.
So moved.
Second.
All right, 1 second. Speak about hip appeal, settlement agreement, and personnel matters. Good, second.
Second.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Abstentions? See you in the lobby. Good evening, everyone. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided by sending such notice to the Asbury Park Press, the Middletown Patch, and the Middletown Township Public School District website, and the posting of such notice at the August T. Minor administrative offices in each elementary, middle, and secondary school in the district. Roll call.
Mrs. Caminiti?
Here.
Mrs. Farley?
Here.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Mr. Heffernan?
Here.
Mrs. Minuis? Here. Mr. Tulp?
Here.
Mrs. Wright? Mrs. Tobacco? Here. Mr. Capone?
Here.
Ms. Hallam?
Here.
Mr. Ruane?
Here.
I'm going to stand for the pledge with a moment of silence. With sadness, we share that Wanda Jean Ekman passed away on May 8, 2023. Ms. Ekman served the district as a payroll supervisor for many years and retired in 2000. We extend our condolences to the Ekman family. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now I'm going to start with our student speakers. We got from High School North, Mr. Liam Bowie.
Head of the Pride, High School North's Student and Staff Member of the Month Recognition Program celebrates outstanding academic achievement and highlights individuals who uphold the core values of our learning community. April's award recipients were, for the 9th grade, Leah Minson and Liam Wilson. For the 10th grade, Maya Sabatino and Ashton Bronstein. For the 11th grade, Brooke Ketterer and Danielle Laron Harrow. For the 12th grade, Ishika Patel and Avery Adamo, and our staff member of the month was Mrs. Smith. Freshman Social and Emotional Learning Awards were distributed to individuals who modeled the following qualities during this last academic year. Gianna Criscone for resilience, Grace Warshauer for persistence, Alexander Goins for valor, Shay Mora for benevolence, Olivia Kiani for honesty, Kevin Birdsey for teamwork, Michaela LaMonica for goal setting, Ava Gonzalez for leadership, Nicholas Wall for humor, Noah DiVincenzo for humor. High School North's 2023 Athletics Hall of Fame ceremony featured student presenters Brandon Chisano and Kaylin Scott Alonte. The inductees included Nishan Patel, Len Florio, Thomas Blevins, Mike Florio, Jesse Chalmers, Chad Freshnock, Taylor Crosby, Ken Freshnock, and Justin Liver. Teacher Appreciation Week was celebrated across our campus from May 8th through the 12th. This featured the distribution of staff t-shirts, email messages of gratitude, and a fantastic luncheon sponsored by our amazing PFA. We are genuinely thankful for the ongoing inspiration and tireless support of High School North's incredible educators. Staff members continue to recognize outstanding student leadership throughout the learning community with the distribution of praise referrals. Over 30 medals were awarded this month to students who modeled qualities and characteristics that served as our school's foundation. High School North's flag football team is continuing its winning ways, remaining undefeated this season, and is currently ranked #1 in the Shore Conference. Our softball and baseball programs recently captured A North Division titles and are currently competing in the NJSIAA postseason tournaments. The following track and field honors were earned at the Monmouth County Championships. Jack Chenoweth, for the 400-meter hurdles, won first place Monmouth County champion. Jack Chenoweth for the 400-meter run won second place in Monmouth County. Aiden Morrow for discus, third place. Janelle Sampson, javelin, third place. The boys team won the Public A North Divisional title for the second year in a row. Lucas Ainbinder and Molly McCabe were awarded the Shore Conference's Sportsman Award for demonstrating honor, integrity, and fairness in athletic competition. James Marney was awarded the NJSIAA Scholar Athlete Award for outstanding academic and athletic performance. High School North's Spring NCAA signing event is scheduled for Wednesday, May 31st. The following athletes will be honored. Aaron Gunch for cross country and track and field, going to Monmouth University. Jack Tunworth for track and field, also going to Monmouth University. Jacob Cabral for lacrosse, going to SUNY Purchase. Rich Grabowski for football, going to Sacred Heart University. Aiden Thied for ice hockey, going to Adrian College. Valentina Finetti for flag football, going to Kaiser University. And Aaron Ryan for golf, going to Juanita College. The spring band concert was an enormous success that displayed our musicians' outstanding talents. The hard work and preparation for this enjoyable and entertaining community event was evident. Collective efforts from advanced film students in Block 1B have led to the success of an original project, Krampus on Campus. This film has received several accolades and will be screening at the Dances with Film Festival, which is a significant honor. That is all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liam. We now have from High School South, Ms. Tilly Quick. How are you? There you go.
South's Junior Prom was held on April 28th at Jocks and was a huge success. All attendees had a wonderful time. South's Chorus Show was held on May 16th. Thank you to Mrs. Castor for a wonderful show. May 18th was the Spring Band Concert. Thank you to Mr. Ragaseo. The concert was well attended and everyone enjoyed it. The PFA held a senior breakfast on May 28th for all senior students. After the fire presentation to all seniors was held today, it was a riveting presentation. South's annual art show is running May 22nd to May 26th in the South Media Center. Teachers are able to sign up to bring their classes to the show during the school day, and parents were able to attend on May 22nd to see all of South's talented artists' work. The National Honor Society induction will take place on May 30th at 6:30 on the South Football Stadium. The Civic Leadership Action Project Fair will be held on May 31st in South Media Center. The NCAA signing will also take place on May 31st. Senior Prom is coming up on June 2nd at Jocks. Everyone is looking forward to a great night. Student Ava Romano has been selected for the 2023-2024 Metro Scholarships Program at Two River Theater, where she will get the opportunity to work with theater professionals and participate in the day-to-day running of a professional theater. Mid-South Film took home the school award at the Count Basie Teen and College Film Festival in Red Bank. The award furnished Mid-South Film over $2,000 in camera equipment. Additionally, students Mia Dimitri and Moore Collins took home the Best Director Award for their film, Panic. Congratulations to Moore Collins, Jay Fielding, Isabella Campion, Mia Dimitri, Chloe Davis, Mary Rafferty, Kate Cashin, Nick Kuveris, Joe DeMarco, Nim Boudreau, Sean O'Grady, Kira Johnson, Grace Wilson, Kristen Priffer, and Gabby Dirigiris. 4 of their films were selected as award winners at this year's Montclair Emerging Filmmakers Competition. Mia Dimitri, as well as Moore Collins, took the grand prize in their categories for their films Love Bites and Panic. The screening will take place at 1:30 on June 3rd in Montclair, and it's open to the public. 5 films from Mid-South were selected to be screened at this year's New Jersey Young Filmmakers Festival on June 11th at the Barrymore Film Center in Fort Lee. Christian Guzon and Luke Zevany were included in the selection, as well as students previously mentioned. Moore Collins and Mia Dimitri were awarded the Stellar Award for their film Panic. The event is free and open to the public. Lastly, Middletown Suicide Awareness and Prevention Community Walk was held on Sunday, May 21st, 2023. Although this is not a Middletown North or South sponsored event, South Junior Piper Wyman worked passionately and diligently to promote the event to the mayor of Middletown and obtained approval to move forward, which is amazing. Piper also researched the various organizations that raised funds for this cause and selected the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. This is the description of the event on the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention event page. This walk was a student-led and organized event. The walk began at the Middletown Arts Center, where volunteers from Middletown High School North and South ran a check-in booth. From there, the walkers continued as a community to the Middletown Township Municipal Building. There was food, live music, and fun for everyone. Over $8,000 was raised. Great job to both high school North and South students. Piper Wyman worked with Key Club at South members and Key Club at North as well to team up and promote this event. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Quick. Okay, we're now going to turn this to Mr. Kirkpatrick for a presentation.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Okay, tonight we are going to be reviewing information from our student safety data system, as well as our HIB grades for the 2021-2022 school year. We're going to start with our student safety data system. Every month, school districts in the state of New Jersey are required to submit incidents that occurred in their school buildings. The column all the way on the right-hand side highlight the incidents that occurred for period 1 of this school year, which occurs from September 1st to December 31st. As you can see, we report incidents related to violence, vandalism, substance, weapons, and HIB confirmed. Mr. Rotolo, is there any way to scroll that up a little bit so we can see the bottom? There you go. We're going to have to look at it that way then. Aside from HIB confirmed, we also report other incidents, which are incidents that result in suspensions that do not fall into the other categories, and also HIB alleged, which are HIB investigations that result in unfounded results. Now, typically, we compare the prior year's period 1 to this year's period 1. But last year, the school year 2021-2022, the first part of the year was more significantly impacted by COVID. So you can see that the numbers are a little smaller. I decided to include period 2 from 2021-2022 as well. That was more of a traditional school period from January to June, and those numbers are a little bit more similar. Just to note, the state only totals the incidents, the first 5, violence, vandalism, substance, weapons, and HIB. They do not include other incidents and HIB alleged incidents in the total SSDS incident count. So I'll just give everyone a moment to take a look at those numbers. Again, all the way on the right is period 1 of this year, and then you have period 1 and period 2 of 2021-2022.
Apologies, what does HLP stand for again?
Harassment, intimidation, and bullying.
Thank you.
Okay, we can move on to HIB. So these are our district's HIB scores for the 2021-2022 school year. These were presented to the board in the fall, if you recall. After they're presented to the board in the fall, they're submitted to the state. The state has now approved these scores, and they're on our district website and our school websites as well. These scores are a result of our school assessment teams getting together, our school safety teams going through the state assessment and working on indicators that the state provides to come up with a score. The highest possible score is 78. Are there any questions related to either of those slides? Again, these are the same scores that were presented to the district in, I believe, October. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kirkpatrick. Okay, we're now going to move on to curriculum and instruction. Mrs. Farley and Mrs. Alcoa.
We met last week. We had a great meeting. The bulk of the meeting was the curriculum adoption review. So this is something we do annually. The committee had an opportunity to review all the curricula in advance. We met with all the curriculum directors, had a chance to ask questions, and then all the curricula that are ready to be voted on tonight are on the agenda. And there are a few others that are going to be tweaked over the summer, and they'll go on subsequent agendas. Another thing that we discussed was that we're going to be having Orton Gillingham summer training for some additional, about 20 more teachers in the district. Our goal is to have all K through 2 teachers in the district trained in Orton Gillingham, which is a great program. So we're making really good progress on that front. We also discussed the Gifted and Talented program, which is going to be getting a revamp district-wide. We're going to be kind of honing the criteria to qualify for Gifted and Talented and trying to improve the quality of the Gifted and Talented program and the amount of time that our students get in that program. So really excited about those initiatives, and I think that was it.
Thank you, Ms. Farley. Okay, moving on to student services, Mr. Todd.
Thank you. Yep, we met at the same time, obviously on May 18th. Most of the meeting was spent going over those curriculum reviews, so special services was a shorter meeting. The main topic we discussed was that in connection with the district's receipt of the additional or compensatory special education and related services grant, any district that receives that is subject to being randomly selected for an audit, and we have the honor of being one of the districts selected for that this year. I understand Ms. Doherty and the business office are working with the special ed department to gather the information needed for that audit, and we'll be preparing it and presenting it in due course. That was really it.
Thank you, Mr. Todd. Okay, moving on to finance facilities, I'm going to hand it off to Mrs. Doherty.
The Finance and Facilities Committee met on May 17th. We did have a presentation from our health insurance broker, Brown & Brown, who gave an update on the review of our self-insurance program and our health benefits trend over the last year or so since we've been looking at our program and tracking and seeing how our performance has been. We have been performing favorably. We did a comparison between what the results have been under the self-insurance versus what our fully insured options were at the time when we made the transition and how we've been trending now. So we have definitely come in under what those amounts would be that we would have assessed for premiums, and we're looking at we did come up with our budget projection when we did our budget for next year, but we don't do any of our official renewals of our stop loss or any of the underlying instruments until a couple of months from now, because our fiscal year is not ended yet. But overall, it's been performing favorably. We are fully reserved. That's been something that we've been discussing when we instituted this, that we have the appropriate reserve set aside that we should, according to our brokers. So the program is performing well. We also talked about a couple of voting items that were going to be on the agenda. We had an approval tonight for the access control project contract with CM3. Just a reminder to the board that this is the project that we applied for the COPS grant funding on and that we did receive. So it will be 75% funded with the COPS grant funds and 25% with the local match that is included in our 23-24 budget. And CM3 did do a presentation to the committee to further, and Mr. McGuire, to further explain what the project will entail. It's going to be district-wide. It will impact all of the buildings and will improve the access controls on the doors in each of our school buildings. We also talked briefly about a security assessment report that the district had done. We will be updating the board with our consultant at a later meeting date. We have to determine what that would be, but they did give a brief overview of the work that they did throughout the district, looking at our security environment. We also talked about the High School North Field and Track project that we awarded the contract for and that is planned for this summer. We currently do have a filing of a bid protest that we are working through. We are working to expedite the disposition of that. So we are waiting to hear whether there will be any movement on that so that we can continue the project as scheduled, and we will keep the board posted on that. We also talked about the annual reorganization items that are on the agenda, our annual appointments of professionals, purchasing cooperatives, etc. Those are all listed on the agenda. We also have transportation contracts, the 23-24 student meal prices, tax levy payment schedule, which is the tax levy that was agreed to in our 23-24 budget, other purchasing agreements, and we also did talk to the committee about, we've applied for another COPS grant for this year for the purpose of doing a project for expanding the amount of the security film we have on the windows in the district. We did a project previously that focused on interior windows on doors and so forth, and we're looking to do security film for exterior windows. So we have applied for that, and we will wait and see if we receive that funding. And we are going to be meeting, our next meeting is June 12th, and we're planning on having our architect in to review a proposal for a district-wide facilities assessment. You know, as we discussed, we budgeted those funds for next year, and we need to do, it's time that we do a really in-depth assessment of all the buildings for planning purposes for the board.
Can I just make a comment?
Yes.
I just think it's important for the public to know, and I know we talked about in finance and facilities, that the holdup of the high school north field and track is being held up by this company, and the only one that's getting hurt out of this is the kids, because we really needed to do that project, and that's our plan, and this company is really screwing it up for the kids.
Yeah, the second low bidder went to court. The court entered an order without hearing from us first, restraining us from proceeding with the contract. We did file a motion to lift those restraints, meaning that we would be able to proceed if the court grants that motion. That's supposed to be heard in the beginning of June.
Yeah, I just think that's good for the public to know, so that they know that it's not us trying to hold it up, we're ready to go. And the other comment I wanted to make was on self-insurance, and I have to give kudos to everybody who pushed that, because what our insurance broker told us is how much we're saving, but it was also brought to my attention by someone else, it's not just how much we're saving from the self-insurance, it's how much we would have lost if we stayed where we are. It would have been astronomical numbers, and we would have really been in a problem. So kudos to the self-insurance, it's really working out great.
Correct.
I just want to say, over the past, I mean, since I've been here, just looking back, you know, we have been very cognizant of managing our health insurance costs. You know, we hear a lot of horror stories about districts that get tagged with gigantic increases that, you know, really puts their budget back, and it's been a focus of our whole team and the board to manage those costs so that we don't have these unexpected real big spikes in cost, and that would cause us a lot of financial hardship. So not that we can, we'd always like to see it be less, but you know, it's been something that's been focused on and managed very well.
To answer your question, Joan, yes, we saved a ton of money. If it would have been in generalized insurance, it would have been approximately 14 to 17% raise this year.
So not only the money that we saved when we switched, but we're saving again this year.
Versus where we would have been, it would have been millions more, correct?
Right. That's great.
Yeah, really good.
Good to know.
Okay, I'm done with that.
Good, okay.
Sorry.
Moving to co-curriculum, Mrs. Caminiti and Mr. Ranella.
We did meet.
All right, May 17th.
The 17th, yes. We discussed the sports. We have, Joan was saying, that's June 5th, that they're going to be having an esports competition at Bay Shore. That was up. We discussed sports transportation, which still not looking good for next year, because it's difficult to get buses for regular school. Meanwhile, trying to get our kids transported for sports. We also were discussing, and I don't have any specifics yet, but they are going to be looking into some opportunities for the 6th graders for some extra sports activities for them. We don't have anything yet. Then we had a little bit of a discussion about policy, because apparently there was some confusion with our children that are homeschooled. Our policy does not allow homeschool students to participate in after-school activities, if it's clubs or sports. If you're homeschooled, you're not able to. It's not like the vocational schools. Vocational schools are different, but homeschool students are not able to. So that's what basically our meeting was about.
Okay.
We just have one more thing that we added. We talked about letting our coaches have some professional development.
Yes, yes, yes. Sure.
Because the coaches are being told that they can't, but Mr. Ranella said that's not the case, and that he would address that with the coaches and let them know, at least give them one training a year if there's a lot that want to do it. Start it out that way, but we want our coaches to be the best. They need the professional development also, so.
I'm sorry, they're saying they can't.
Yeah, they were told that they couldn't do professional development, but I always thought that we could, and it's the case, Mr. Brunel.
They
There was a misunderstanding.
And didn't we just do coaches professional development with mental health? Was that professional development?
That was in district too, yeah. We're talking about
What Ms. Minnie was
going
talking
out.
about with some of the professional development opportunities that happen outside of the district.
Gotcha.
Above and
I
beyond
thought
what
that
we
we
do.
were providing anything.
Yeah, no, we are
Just
providing
that.
It's just that we want to give them the opportunity to at least attend 1 or 2 seminars a year to improve, keep up on what's going on and for our kids, any changes.
Good. Thank you very much for that. I'm now going to open the microphone up for public comment for agenda items only. Does anybody have a public comment on the agenda items only?
I have a question about something that was just said, and
Agenda items only?
Depend, is it on the agenda?
Just what was that?
yeah.
I don't, what?
Go ahead. I mean, it's either now or later, so you might as well do it.
Sorry, it's not. Anne Marie Squino, Shoreline Terrace. I just had a quick question about the homeschool kids. I don't know if you can answer it or not, but because you said a policy that they cannot participate even if they're Middletown residents. So I was just wondering why that's the case, if they're Middletown residents, why they couldn't participate
Because
in.
they're homeschooled and they're not in our school. I think it has something also to do with our insurance, yes.
Yeah, they're not registered in our school district, so they're not covered by us. It's just like Catholic school. You go to Catholic school, you can participate in sports there, but you cannot participate in the public school. You have to be
I see.
enrolled in the district in order to participate.
Is there any way for them to be able to use our facilities if they were to like have a homeschool, I don't know, basketball?
I guess they could apply and pay for it if it's available.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
They'd have to have their own insurance.
Yeah, they have to have their own
But
insurance.
are you talking about the sports?
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud, like if they wanted to have a homeschool basketball team, if they could use the facility and.
Well, there's outside organizations also that, for that.
Right.
There's leagues. It's also, I think there's other factors too contributing. It's not just the insurance, and that's definitely a huge factor. A lot of it also has to do with our funding formula. So when you have to leave the school, it affects our funding formula. And we don't have, we also have kids that get cut now that are trying out for sports that are in district. And then there's also issues of NJSIA rules, which are based on academics, and that's something that would be very hard to qualify
Okay.
those students who are homeschooled for. So again, I don't think it's about anybody wanting to exclude any children. I think it's just the logistics and liability, and also the issues of not even having enough money we don't have an overflow of money that we have every single thing taken care of for every single kid that's in district. So I think that's part of our discussions have always been about that.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate the conversation.
Thank you.
Here, Seki, Ashar Drive, Middletown. Reference to personnel report, item 12, the anti-bullying specialist. 70 to 80%, when I go look at the reports on HIB, 70 to 80% of the allegations are unfounded. That doesn't mean that something didn't happen. So I just want to make sure we seem to focus on HIB. What are we doing for all of those other items that cause great distress to a lot of kids that might not fall under those parameters? And I just want to make sure, because there's a lot of terminology here attached to this job description that focuses again just on HIB. I want to make sure those other issues are addressed. Also, to pick up on a comment that was just made, co-curricular, I really appreciate that you're looking for things for sixth graders to do, but can we please help the children with disabilities find something? As I prepare my daughter to be disappointed again as she tries out for a non-competitive team, which she will probably be cut, wash, rinse, repeat. She's been cut from unified teams. There is so much need as it relates to kids with special needs, and there's not enough programs. Okay? They can't get on non-competitive teams. They can't make cuts on unified teams. So I appreciate what people are doing, but we need to really get our arms around this, and that's one of the reasons the kids feel so excluded in the self-contained.
Giving reports over time. But we did discuss about these children.
Trying to increase.
These children, yes, it was very important.
Yeah.
So it did not go unheard.
Okay.
We spoke at length about it, actually.
Okay, I just want to make
No, I
sure,
don't-
because when I hear more about, sixth grade,
I'm terrible with that, putting everything down.
No, that's all right. I appreciate that it was discussed.
Yeah, and I'll also say that I didn't mean to single out special needs, but I was referring to that when I talked about not being able to have everything for every child already.
I got that.
And hard to offer to homeschoolers before I actually feel like
I got that, what
we
you were
are
saying.
attending to every kid who would like to participate in things, so.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't single.
Yeah, I mean, there's
single
equity
out, but-
between high schools, what one does, what the other, it's just, it's a very difficult situation. And I just find that people are giving up, and I tell you, it breaks my heart. I go to these programs that are off school at, Rally Cap or whatever, and I listen to the parents telling other parents, you don't want to get into the South self-contained programs, it's isolating, it's heartbreaking, it's heartbreaking. And we need to find some way to hold the community together on that side. Thank you.
Thank you.
In relation to the HIBs, I just want to address that part. That's part of what I've seen as a potential problem or an actual problem in the decade or so that the HIB law has been in place, is that it compels districts to put something in a box or find a HIB unfounded. And almost every time, even when a HIB is not founded, that doesn't mean that the conduct has not occurred and it's not addressed under the code of conduct. And sometimes in communications, not just in Middletown, in my experience, in every district, that's not always understood by the victim, that there is a consequence and things are being addressed even when the HIB is unfounded and that's communicated to the parents. It is always addressed.
Thank you. Okay, I need a motion to approve. Oops, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Good evening.
Just your name and address for the record.
Oh, of course. My name is Taylor Howback Orsanella. My address?
Yes.
9 Bennett Place, Middletown.
This is about agenda items, right?
Yeah.
Speak
It's
into the
pertaining.
microphone.
Pardon me?
I can't hear you. Can you speak into the microphone? Sorry.
Sure.
Thank you.
My question is pertaining to the curriculum. So I have 2 children in Middletown. My stepson is in 7th grade, and then my daughter is in preschool at Harmony, and she'll be attending kindergarten there in the fall. I'm just asking about the elementary curriculum and the use of screens in the classroom. It's my understanding that prior to the pandemic, they did not have their individual Chromebooks, and that was introduced obviously when we had virtual learning. But now that we're moving away from that, is there a plan in place to stop using Chromebooks in the classroom, at least until a certain age?
Yeah, there's a balance with everything. There are certain appropriate uses for technology in those lower grades, although, those lower primary K-2, pre-K-2, we want them to be less tech-centric. So there is been conversation this year about next year being a revamped kind of mindset in regards to how technology is utilized, primarily in those pre-K-2 settings. But in every grade level, there are certain purposes that technology
can be utilized with efficiency and appropriately.
I definitely understand that they have to be tech savvy in the world that we live in. However, I'm sure you're all aware of the negative side effects we see of the screen use in children. And when I was walking through for Read Across America Week, I saw kindergartners on their headphones with their Chromebooks, and that gives me pause, because I don't allow my child that type of access to a personal device at home, let alone in the classroom. So I understand that they're here to stay, but I'm hoping that the use of them is either restricted, at least in the K through 12, like to maybe a computer lab rather than in their classroom. And then I want to know, are there any specific policies in place that will be distributed so we can see just how much screen time they'll have in the classroom, whether it's like a 30-minute limit, an hour limit, whatever that looks like?
We do not currently have a policy that dictates screen time. However, as I said, our programming really, the way it's has been implemented prior to COVID, is primarily low tech in regards particularly to reading and mathematics instruction. There are some applications that students can use. What we are looking for is that students aren't just on technology to pass time. And certainly the lower grade levels, we want to see less technology used, less also computers, more touchpads, because there are some applications at the younger grade levels that are more advantageous on an iPad and that type of scenario. But we certainly have our eye on the fact that coming off of COVID, where technology was very much a part of everybody's life, that we have to rebalance and recalibrate what our classrooms look like in regards to how and when and how much technology is used. So while it's not policy, it is a focus of the curriculum department moving forward.
And I'll just say anecdotally, I have a third grader and a first grader there at that month, but the change I've noticed from like pre-COVID, when my son at the time was kindergarten and first grade, kind of during the height of COVID, he would have to have his Chromebook with him all the time. He never takes his Chromebook home. He never has homework on his Chromebook. He's in third. Okay. And my first grader never, like, she was devastated because she thought she was going to get to take her Chromebook home, and she never gets to. So I do think that the teachers are trying to, especially in the lower elementary, trying to shift back to, good old pen and paper.
That's great. Thank you, I appreciate it.
No problem.
Does anybody else have a comment to make on agenda items only? Seeing no one coming forward, we're going to move on and actually go back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We didn't have meetings this month on legislative or on policy, which is why Frank skipped me, but I will give two quick updates. Legislative, we have been discussing back to HIBs. We have been discussing the legality and the implications of the HIB law. And back to Bruce's point, that the emphasis is so on that HIB law that we're almost kind of getting lost in the code of conduct and disciplinary actions. And we're also, it's an unfunded mandate. We are, at the liberty of having to have a lot of staff members devoted to investigating all of these HIBs that are being reported. So we, the legislature will be discussing it. I did reach out to Assemblywoman Nikki Flynn, and we will be having a meeting hopefully this month to talk about maybe there's some kind of legislative change. And we're also trying to get other legislators involved on maybe some kind of change, or maybe on the permanent record keeping part of it. The best intentions of the law to protect kids is one thing, but then in the manifestation of it and the way we're kind of seeing it play out, I think we're all kind of feeling a little frustrated with the HIB law and its implication for all the kids and for all of our staff, and especially for the board as well. So I wanted to give that update. Also, we did not get a chance. We had a last-minute cancellation of our Thursday night policy meeting, but I do want to say tonight you will be voting on 9 second readings of policies that we talked about, first readings of last month, and we have 3 policies for first reading and a minor change on a regulation. That's an administrative regulation change regarding not giving keys to anybody that is using the facilities. That was at the request of John McGuire, our security. And I want to commend our policy committee. Although we didn't get a chance to meet, Kate, Gary, myself, Frank, and Bruce were able to work on something that we had been vaguely discussing, and we really put our heads down and worked by email and phone to come up with changes that we believe are very child protective and district protective on the transgender policy. So you'll see that for first reading tonight. Thank you for doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tobacco. Okay, moving on now, I need a motion to approve items 12 through 16.
So moved.
Second.
You got it, Lino?
I
Okay.
thought we were on the approval of the minutes. Number
No.
17.
Not yet. Not yet.
Up to that.
That's next thing. We have a motion for 12 through 16. We have a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Need a motion to approve executive session 425-23 and workshop regular voting meeting 425-23.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right, just real quick, this is the, most likely our last scheduled meeting of the school year. I just want to say we had a great year for everyone. Thankful to the staff, teachers, our administration, and I also want to thank the board who, we do everything we can for the children in this district. And though we may not agree sometimes, just keep in mind every 9-person member up here does everything for the best intent for each of our children in the district. So thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
Mrs. Doherty, we have the board secretary's monthly certification.
We have the certification that the financial reports reflect that as of April 30th, no line item account has encumbrances and expenditures which in total exceed the line appropriation in violation of New Jersey Administrative Code.
Thank you, Ms. Doherty. We have a motion to approve C1 through 3.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Okay, I need a motion to, I'm sorry, superintendent's update.
Just real quick, earlier this evening, we recognized 127 of our students for exemplary achievements, including students for Special Olympics, Monmouth Vicinage, Law Day Poetry and Art Contest winners, Daughters of the American Revolution, Youth Citizenship Medal recipients, New Jersey Council for Social Study Award recipients, Anti-Defamation League Awards for Exceptional Leadership, the Monmouth County Guidance Directors Association Caring Award recipients, students who achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, students who attained the Seal of Biliteracy Award, the SAT 700 and 800 Club students, and the Winter All-Shore student athletes. Last week, we commended the students who earned recognition in the fine, practical, and performing arts, including more than 200 BASIE Award nominees. The board and the administration could not be more proud of the students, and we're excited to share their accomplishments with the community. Well done, students. During the month of May, our school community honored our principals, teachers, and school nurses for their dedication and their extraordinary work they do every day to help our students succeed. And finally, as the school year starts to wind down, there are many school and district events on the calendar, including band and choral concerts, art shows, and of course the 8th grade promotion ceremony on June 14th and the high school graduations on June 15th. The district weekly newsletter is a great resource to keep informed about the wonderful happenings as well as the important dates throughout the district. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, we now need a motion to approve 18D through 19G2, including addendum items D8 and D19D2, and we are redacting number 050, 5901, 5902, and 782 on this vote.
Okay, Frank, so we're doing D1,
D2
D2, and
through
D3.
19G2, and you're including, you have addendums with you, 18D8, no, it's not the whole thing, 18D8 and 19D2.
So the concern is that it's the remainder of the agenda except
Personnel.
And the hits.
The redacted HIBs I just spoke about.
We're going to
Wait, that's
separate them.
separate.
Those are out. You're voting on all the other additions. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Discussion?
yes, I have a question for Mary Ellen. I just want to know. Number 6, there is a scholarship that's being posted. Can you tell me about it?
Number what?
Number 6, under the super, I just wanted,
Yes, someone who's a graduate is, and Amy can probably fill in a little bit more maybe. Someone who's a graduate has passed away and his family is creating this scholarship. And this person evidently had maybe, like, wasn't the best candidate for going to college, went to Brookdale for a little while, and made his, was successful after that. And so they wanted the scholarship to be for someone who is either going into the trades or some other, post-secondary that isn't a 4-year college, maybe Brookdale, for that type of student.
that's what I
And
wanted
it's-
to know,
yes,
what the
yes.
requirement.
And I think it's, I don't remember the exact amounts. They're pretty steep.
Yeah, I didn't bring the information with me, but I'm thinking, I
5
think it
and
was.
10, right?
Right, it was,
Yes.
yeah.
I think there's a $5,000 scholarship and a $10,000
Is that
scholarship.
for both schools?
I think so. Don't quote me on it though. I don't remember exactly.
I don't remember if it was for both schools. I'd have to get back to you on that.
But it's
Okay,
it's
I
not
wanted
just
to
a
know.
1 year. It's a like a
Oh, no.
perpetual. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was. It was really nice.
Because I know the scholarship committees are always looking for something.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed on number 2. D2.
2.
I am also voting no on D2.
I'm opposed on numbers 24495 and 245590 for D2. Those are not the ones that we,
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you do?
244955 and 245590. That's one of the ones that we kind of carved out, but
The one ending in 590 had more than one individual involved.
Right, offender.
So some of them are being done separately, and some are included on
If you
here.
vote no, that takes them out too.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a no on those two. I'm a yes on everything else on the motion.
Kate, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear your numbers.
244955
Okay.
and then 245590.
Okay, I'm the same. I'm a no on both as well.
Correct. Me as well, and that's 590, Kate, for 1 or 2?
So.
That was on 1 only, right?
That was the one that's on.
You're
this
voting
one.
no.
I
You're
can
voting no on
I can vote on 5782 right now, can I?
No.
Okay, but then
That's pulled out.
5590 I can vote on, right?
For the ones that aren't in the HIP.
Right.
Yeah.
590 is on both.
Right,
I
okay,
think
so,
that's the confusion.
right, so offenders, do I say?
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
Okay, 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 never mind.
They're
You're
talking about the
the
other.
same case that's.
Oh,
in
yeah,
under
okay,
number
okay,
two.
yes, all right, I'm sorry.
There's more people
I got you,
involved.
there's more people.
So if you vote no, you keep
Okay.
them out of the
Yep,
two.
yep, yep. I got it.
Good. Abstentions?
We're done.
Good, yes. All right, now I am putting back in, we're voting on 050 first. I got 050, right?
Yeah.
Discussion? All in favor?
I'm sorry.
The vote is to,
Yes or no?
It's
Yes or
over,
no?
right?
Yes
It's
vote is
overturned.
overturned.
Did we do a motion? We did a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second,
So what is the motion?
Yeah, but,
which way is the,
right, that's the whole thing, that we,
and I think
Hold
it's
on.
a roll call.
Matt.
I think it needs-
yes,
050, what was the finding?
They were
that
all,
it was founded.
Founded? Okay.
And we're
So-
saying no.
so a yes.
So a no vote
it's
is
overturned.
overturning the finding, a yes vote is to confirm the HID finding.
Thank you.
So let's vote separately on all of them.
Yes. So is there a motion for 050?
Yes.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Second? Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
We're all opposed.
Opposed, yep.
Okay.
Abstentions?
Opposed means we're overturning it.
Correct.
Yeah, we're overturned.
Okay. 5902 first.
What is it? 590.
5902.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Oppose?
Opposed.
Oppose? Abstentions? 5901. Discussion. Motion.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose?
Opposed.
I oppose. Abstentions? 782. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Yes.
Yes.
No.
Oppose?
Oppose.
Oppose. Abstentions? That is
Amy,
done.
did you get that?
Yes.
Did you really get us?
We need little hands, yes, no.
Okay.
Sorry, Amy, that wasn't easy.
I need approval of items
There has to be a better way.
1 through 15.
You gotta give us buttons to press.
Second. Discussion.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, what?
Approval of items 1 through 15. Discussion.
Including the addendum, correct?
We did the addendum already, yes.
Okay, we're on the personnel report.
On the personnel, right?
Everything,
Okay.
everything passed.
This is the entire personnel report.
Is the whole, yep.
A motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed on A, 15, A, B, and E. On the
A, B,
addendum.
and E?
A, B, and E on the HR 9.
And I am
Number
voting
15.
no on 15A and B.
Abstentions? That done? Old business. Does anyone have old business?
I just would like to reiterate on the walk on Sunday. I thought it was very well run,
Yes, it was.
organized. Piper did a great job and all her team.
Mhm.
And it was nice to see so many students out to want to learn more about the,
Well, there were students and parents
And
that were
parents.
both there, and it was wonderfully done, and Piper did a great job, along with every student
Yes.
over there, yes.
And next year, because I'm thinking that she's going to do this again, can the schools take a more active role in it?
This is, an
Because we were following advice of the Mental Health Association for this year due to, circumstances, so,
Okay, well, hopefully,
yeah, hopefully
I
next year we can step
don't
up.
understand why they would want us. You have- I hope that their advice next year, that we are going to do something. This young lady was unbelievable.
Very
And
good.
to see our students there, it was really nice.
okay, new business. Before Joan goes, anyone else?
Let Joe go.
Well, I just want to say thank you to Kaylee and Liam. They are completing their first
Yes.
year as our very first. And I just want to thank you for being the first people to pioneer this, and hopefully you got something out of it and saw how the board works and everything that goes on, and thank you.
She said they don't know how to vote.
It's been a pleasure working with you both, and if you'd like to say something right now, opportunity, the microphone's all yours if you'd like.
Yes, I just wanted to say this was a phenomenal opportunity. I enjoyed this so much. Having the opportunity to come here, I definitely did not know all that goes on behind the scenes, so I think it was very educational. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Me as well. Thank you very, very much. It was really an honor to do this. I know my start was a little shaky because I wasn't the original pick, but I really enjoyed it, and I believe I'm also doing this next year as an only a junior.
Oh, great.
I look forward to doing it again.
We apologize for the late nights also.
I don't mind.
All right.
Can I,
Yep.
new business?
Yeah, new business.
I just want to make a statement. I'm not sure if this is the most appropriate time, but since Joan uses new business to, just update people on things in other districts. I just want to say I'm really proud the efforts that have been made for special education this year. And I'd like to thank Jessica Alphone for leading a lot of those efforts on inclusion. And I would also like to really encourage the community, and whoever's listening, please spread this message. As a parent who is at the end of their 12 or 13 years in this district in special education and have been, experienced all different self-contained, inclusion, classrooms, LD, I think we've hit every scenario that there could be. I just would like to really encourage the general ed population and the teachers and the parents especially to really try to embrace inclusion as much as you can. It is not for everyone, but when it does work, it is a beautiful, special thing, especially for a parent to have the feeling of their child has some kind of somewhat normal childhood experience being in a regular inclusion classroom. I know it can be bumpy. I understand that there's been some issues this year with some of the inclusion efforts that we've been making. And I think if everyone can just kind of look at it and try to give the kids a little bit of grace, especially the younger kids or the kids that are having some behaviors and transition problems with that inclusion effort. We all are coming out of 2 to 3 years of COVID nonsense, and behaviors across the board are very high, regardless of what kind of a student you are or where your placement is. And I think the more that we have a little bit of an understanding and a grace period for some of these kids as we make these adjustments, and also for the district, we are also learning, we're also making efforts. As people know, we hired RBTs this year. That's a brand new initiative. Doesn't always work out perfectly, but we're still trying and we still continue to make changes as it goes along. But I just want to say I'm really proud of the changes that have been made, and just really would like to encourage the community to really try to embrace those changes as well. And know that, honestly, Frank brought it up a little bit before, but honestly, I do believe that every single person on this board and in this administration does put the children's needs and the best of the children before anything else. So I know change is hard. I know it's hard. I know this is a rough road when we talk about changing things, the way things are done. But again, just please begging people to give some grace to the children who do have special needs, and give some grace to their parents especially. It is a difficult road. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for their efforts towards improving our special education for everyone. So thank you.
Got it. Okay, now moving on.
Can I go?
I'm just kidding.
Please try to stop me. Okay, like Mary Ellen said before, a lot of these dates are on the superintendent's update. But for those of you that don't read the superintendent's update, we have a whole list of things going on that you guys could get involved with and go and see. Starting with tomorrow night, there's the Thorn Band Concert at 7 p.m. There's also the Thompson Art Show at 6 p.m. So if you time your timing from across town, you could probably get to both. This is going to be a tricky one because on May 30th, High School North and High School South are having their Honor Society at the same time. So I guess maybe we split it up.
It's actually a half-hour difference shown, by the way.
Is there? Yeah, but
I
that's
think
not
North
enough.
is at 6,
Yeah.
and South is at 6:30.
Not enough
Unfortunately, I have to attend the South because my son's a part of that.
And all 10 North, so we're split, but yeah, it's hard when they're on the same night. Also the 30th, Navasink is having their concert at 6:30. On the 31st, we're going to the signing at South at 10 a.m. for the athletes. Thompson also has their Honor Society at 6 p.m. On June 1st is the art show at the MAC. Tremendous show, you don't want to miss out. There's a lot of great art pieces there. That starts at 6 p.m. Thorn's having their Honor Society at 6 p.m., but you could go to the Honor Society because the art show lasts a little bit longer. So, and also at South, the Little Eagle graduation at 12 o'clock.
Which day is that?
June 1st.
June 1st.
June 5th is esports at Bayshore from 4 to 6, so that should be an interesting thing for anybody who wants to come and see what we're investing our money in and what our kids are getting out of it.
With me.
Barry's coming with you?
Yes.
Okay. June 6th, North Preschool graduation at 9:15 and 11:45. Senior Awards Night on June 7th for North at 6:30, June 8th for South at 6:30, and South is doing it on the field, which I always love that. Outside's good. And then graduations. I just want to, wish everybody a happy summer and whoever's graduating high school, good luck in your future endeavors, because, you know, it's the start of a whole new life for you guys, and I'm sure you'll be successful. And I think we're going to hear from a lot of our seniors because they're very involved, and we have a great district, so with a lot of great students. And for middle school, I can't wait to see what you do in high school. We'll be following you. And that's it.
Very good. All right, now we're gonna, there is no other comments? Good, Gary? Okay. Open up the microphone for public comment. If you have a public comment, please step to the mic and give your name and address for the record.
Pretty sure I promise. Emery Espinas. So, in regards to the inclusion in special education, I have been inside the schools. I've been, as a parent, I have children in this school, and I want to say that I think that the inclusion also is a bumpy road, but I think one that is well worth the effort on everyone involved. And I think the children, all the children, whether special needs or not, will benefit from being in the classroom with kids, just kids. They're just kids. I don't care what they are, they're just kids. And I think that everyone benefits from being around them. So I want to say that I think it's a great program, it's a great incentive, and I hope to see really great things. As a PTA president, I just want to thank the board for your support of the events that we've done at Thorne, and I know you guys go to all of the events, so as a PTA person, I just want to thank the board for all the support that we get from you. And thank you, Joan, for always reporting on all of our stuff. It's always great that everyone knows. I don't know if there's a way to better circulate what's happening amongst people like PTA who are planning things so that we don't plan things on the same nights or the same weekend or the same day. There's so many schools, it's probably next to impossible to make that ever happen. But just some idea, the plays being on the same weekend was just next to impossible to try to do both. Just things like that. I don't know if there's a way to circulate those dates before time or anything like that we can have a better idea of how to plan things out going forward. But thank you everybody for all that you do. So I appreciate everything.
Thank you, Amber. Would anybody else like to make a public comment? Seeing no one coming to the mic, I'm going to close the public comment, and I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed.
Have a good night, everyone.